On the 15th of September, the Senate considered the bill for an act to provide for the establishment of the Federal College of Education, Kayama, Kwara State. The bill was supported by other members of the Senate, pointing out the importance of the institution when established.
Mr. President, you may wish to invite distinguished Senator Sadiq Suleiman Umar to move the motion for the bill to be read.
Mr. President, I rise to lead the debate on Federal College of Education, Kayama, Kwara State, Establishment Bill 2021, SB 151. Permit me to lead the debate on this very important bill, which seeks to provide for the establishment of Federal College of Education, Kayama, Kwara State. The bill was read for the first time in this hallowed chamber on Tuesday, 12 November 2019. For any country to achieve meaningful development, the socio-economic and political system must be enhanced. This is why the successive Nigerian government placed much emphasis on the development of the individual as a means to national development. Education stems out to be the sure means of developing individuals' potentials. The existence of a sound and robust educational system in any country is predicated on the availability of qualified and well-trained teachers to impart the required knowledge on the students. Thus, the need to have a strong system in our educational sector that shall continuously produce well-qualified and trained teachers as it is obtainable in other developed countries. You will recall, Mr. President, my distinguished colleagues, that as a nation, we have experienced poor performance of our students in WAEC and NECO examinations year in, year out due to lack of enough quality teachers in our secondary schools. I must say that the passage of this bill will reduce this problem. Undoubtedly, the realization that colleges of education are tools for national development are left to an unbridled quest for and vigorous expansion of colleges of education in Nigeria. According to a National Commission for Colleges of Education report, there are 93 accredited colleges of education in Nigeria, and colleges of education are essentially set up to achieve certain stated goals and objectives. This number, to me, is grossly inadequate for a country with over 200 million people. Hence, this bill to establish one in Kayama, Kwara State. The objectives of the college, as outlined in the bill, among others, include to encourage the advancement of learning to all persons without distinction of race, creed, sex, or political conviction, to develop and offer academic and professional programs leading to award of certificates in education, first degrees, postgraduate research with emphasis on planning, developmental and adaptive skills in education, technology, applied science, agriculture, commerce, arts, social science, humanities, management, and allied professional discipline, and also to produce socially mature educational men and women with capabilities not to only understand educational needs of Nigeria as a nation, but also to exploit existing educational infrastructure and improve on it to develop new ones. It may interest you to know that the Federal College of Education, Kayama, will take over the structures of the Unity School in Kayama for the takeoff of the college. Mr. President, my highly respected colleagues, the enactment of this bill will help in transforming the decayed educational infrastructure in Nigeria. Therefore, distinguished colleagues, it is my prayer and ardent call on you to consider the plight of the people who are desirous of becoming professional teachers. In line with Order 77.3 of the Senate Standing Order 2015 as amended, a compendium of the financial implication of the establishment of the university is hereby attached. Therefore, I urge you all to support the expeditious passage of this bill. Thank you.
I rise to second that this bill be passed for the second reading. In supporting this bill, I want to state that the teachers that teach students or pupils in primary schools and secondary schools need to be adequately trained, especially for public schools. I also want to suggest, in supporting this bill, that there should be elements of technical education in this proposed College of Education, so that the teachers can impart such knowledges to the students, so that by the time the students finish secondary school, they should be able to undertake or to have some technical skills which they can use for various jobs preparatory to entering higher institutions. It is on that note that I support the second reading of this bill. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I rise, Mr. President, to support this motion ably moved by my brother, Senator Umar Sadiq. Mr. President, there is no amount of money that one would say is too much to invest in education. Education is the foundation of socio-economic development and technological development of any nation. So for me, Mr. President, having a Federal College of Education in Kayama will be expanding the opportunities of encouraging more and more of our children to embrace the teaching profession and contribute in the development of education. More importantly, Mr. President, is the fact that Kayama is a town in Kwara State that is not too far from the border. And I think, Mr. President, having an institution there will go a long way to reaffirm and give assurance to the good people of Kayama that the federal government appreciates their contributions over the years towards the development of our nation. More so, Mr. President, there have been great men and women from this kingdom, Kayama in Kwara State. I therefore submit, Mr. President, that this bill should go for the second reading. And in doing that, Mr. President, I want to add that this administration have shown great concern in the development of education, perhaps more than any administration. And I'm sure that this bill will receive the blessing of the executive, and we're going to have a College of Education that will equally help to expand and provide opportunities for teachers who will bring up leaders of tomorrow, who will equally build upon the foundation that is being laid by this administration. Mr. President, I hereby submit.
I'm Ali Sabi Abdullahi. I represent Niger North Senatorial District. Mr. President, first let me commend my brother, distinguished Senator Sadiq Umar, for this very timely intervention of having a bill to establish the Federal College of Education, Kayama. Mr. President, Kayama is part of the Borgu region, and as it is today, it's one of those areas that you will say has been marginalized in terms of federal government presence. And having this bill passed and this institution established will no doubt help to assuage the feeling of isolation and alienation, because of course education is one of the biggest weapons that any community can use to bring progress and development to its people. Mr. President, as it is, the location of Kayama also means that even the people of Okiogun in Oyo State will benefit from having this College of Education. At any rate, it's a federal institution. All Nigerians will benefit, and it will be of immense value in providing the necessary training for our youth to participate in training of other younger generation. Mr. President, the truth is, if you look at the teacher pupil ratio in Nigeria, it's still a challenge. And having professional teachers remain a challenge, mostly due to access. Because if you look at most of these communities, they will travel about 5, 6, 7 hours to access the nearest college of education or other institution. So bringing it closer will mean that you are bringing access and therefore ensuring that the dividend of democracy through education is guaranteed. With these few comments, Mr. President, I urge that my colleagues support that this bill be read the second time. So, submit.
The bill for an act to establish the Federal College of Education, Kayama, Kwara State, and for other matters connected there with 2021 second reading taken. And the bill is referred to the Committee on Tertiary Institutions and Ted Fund to report back within 4 weeks.
The Senate also considered the bill for the amendment of the Legal Aid Council Act 2011. Supporting this bill, the senator stated the importance of this bill and the jurisdiction which it covers.
Mr. President, I appreciate the privilege to lead the debate on this very short proposed amendment of the Legal Aid Act. The Legal Aid law was put in place primarily to take care of the less privileged in the society who are poor, who are so poor that they couldn't even afford the care of their bill when confronted with legal challenges in the courts of law. The result of the extreme poverty is that sometimes people are sent to jail wrongly because of the non-legal representation. The Legal Aid Act emerged to fill in that gap. The law does not specifically mention the courts in which litigants are entitled to legal aid counsel. Therefore, the assumption will be that every court is covered by the activities of the Legal Aid Council. However, in practice, the position is that the customary courts and the Sharia courts are sidelined and litigants from such courts are denied representation, citing insufficient funding as the excuse. The bill therefore seeks to amend Section 8 of the Legal Aid Council of Nigeria Establishment Act 2011 by inserting new subsections 9 and 10, respectively, as follows. Subsection 9 empowers the Council to provide criminal defense services to indigent persons in Sharia Court of Appeal and other Sharia courts in Nigeria. Subsection 10 empowers the Council to provide indigent persons undergoing civil litigation before the customary court of appeal and other customary courts in Nigeria. The benefits of the amendment, the major benefit of the scope of activities of the Legal Aid Council, so that the Sharia courts and customary courts where majority of the indigent litigants are found, and to be also clear any ambiguity, as to the scope of the council activities. In conclusion, my distinguished colleagues, with the poverty index rising every day, this amendment couldn't have come at a better time. Thanks for your attention.
To support the consideration and passage of this bill for second reading, and I want to commend my distinguished colleague, Senator Okaje, for coming up with this very important bill, because we are here elected to serve the people. And one of the fundamental rights of any human being and of every Nigerian is to be able to have full and unhindered access to justice, irrespective of their financial or otherwise status. Mr. President, we are all aware of the exorbitant cost of legal representation. And the procedure in our court is that if you are not represented by a competent and skilled lawyer, you may have a genuine case, but things may turn against you, especially for technical issues or other reasons. Therefore, it is important as a country to afford every citizen the right to be able to have not only fair hearing, but to have his or her case considered judiciously and justly, without hindering or without any limitation because of financial difficulty. Therefore, it is important that we allow this bill to move so that Nigerians, or irrespective of their status, will have access to lawyers to represent them and present their case before all courts, especially court of records. So I therefore rise to support that the Senate do consider and pass this bill for second reading for it to be exposed to necessary further legislative intervention for Nigerians to contribute to its consideration. I show support, Mr. President.
Is seeking to remedy the anomaly in the current state of the law, setting up the Legal Aid Council, which does not allow the poor to enjoy the assistance that is normally given to them in all the courts in the country. Exempting only, not allowing them to enjoy representation in the customary court of appeal and all customary courts, and Sharia court and also Sharia courts of appeal. This is a very, very wrong anomaly. I mean, it shouldn't have been there. The poor should be assisted, should be given representation in all the courts. And that's why I commend him for being able to detect this anomaly and then bringing forward the bill to remedy the situation. It doesn't matter, the court. Every court should allow, the aid that is rendered to the poor should be all encompassing, should include all the courts in the land. So this bill is out, and it should be supported by all because it's meant to remedy a situation that was inappropriate or is inappropriate as enshrined in the law that created the Legal Aid Council in this country. I therefore urge my colleagues to support this bill because of its importance. Thank you, Mr. President.
A bill for an act to amend Section 8 of the Legal Aid Council 2011 to expand the scope of legal aid counsel services to indigent persons who are involved in either criminal or civil cases before Sharia courts of appeal and customary courts of appeals as recognized by Sections 275 and 280 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended, respectively, and for related purposes 2021 second reading taken, and the bill is referred to our Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to report back within 4 weeks. Thank you very much, distinguished colleagues.